it, sucker! You might be wondering to yourself, why do some people get championship matches? Why do some people not get championship matches? Why do sometimes people get championship matches out of nowhere? Well, I am going to try to figure this whole thing out. I'm starting to track everything that goes on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. I could go into NXT. I could go into 205 Live. That would take a lot of time, and I don't want to do something that requires a lot of work and it doesn't work out because it doesn't. So look, here's right here. Everybody starts off at 0. The only people that get any points this week or before this week are all the champions. And just as a feeler out there, I'm going to share with you how this might go before we start talking about Raw. I'm really excited about this, everybody. I really am. And I'll explain this a little bit later on. So look, here's my card I wrote out for AJ Styles. So let's look and see what AJ did, how AJ accumulated points this week. He actually accumulated a lot of points. So, I might need this space. AJ Styles. So, you get a point for being on TV. You got he forgot something when he was talking, so he lost a point because he botched talking. He gets 2 points because he wrestled in a match. That Styles clash after the power bombs with Rey Mysterio onto Samoa Joe, that was good. So that's good entertainment. That's good entertainment on him. So he gets another point for that. He won his triple threat match. Now my point system goes, if you win your match on TV, you get 10 points. But because this was a special match, the stipulation being triple threat, it adds an extra 3 points. So he actually got 13 points there. And this match went on a long time, and he and the other two guys tore it up, so they would all get an extra 2 points for entertaining us with an awesome wrestling match. So +2 there. And then he came out later in the night. He was backstage. They interviewed him. I couldn't give any points because he didn't do anything like dramatic. There were things that he said that I thought he could have done better. Poor AJ Styles. How dare you not do as good as me? But he did have another match. So he got another 2 points. And then he's fighting through an injury. So he gets an extra point. And it was a pretty big injury. It wasn't some like pinky broken like Sin Cara. So, and then he won his match. So he's at +10. He gets another 10 points because he won another TV match. So if we add up the numbers here, 1 minus 1 plus 2, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 13, 16 plus 2, 18 plus 2, 20 plus 1, 21 plus 10. So AJ Styles right now is sitting at 31 points. Now, if you look over here, he's actually got more points than the Hardy Boys and the Major Brothers. Now, I assign points to all of the championship titles, and they're weighted. Not everybody just gets 50 points because they're champions. There's reason for it. A lot of people are going to hate on me because I didn't give the women's titles as many points, but I'll explain that later. So, yeah. So right now, AJ Styles has 31 points, and that would put him right between Major Brothers and Samoa Joe. So on my ranking system, he's doing better than some champion. Well, the Major Bros were on TV. Zack Ryder got a point for saying the word horny. But yeah, so I don't know. I think this should be fun. If you want, you can leave some comments or suggestions. If they sound really good or they get a lot of traction, I might consider them. Obviously, I can't just take everybody's suggestions and run with all of them. But yeah, that's where AJ Styles is 31 points. Pretty interesting, huh? I don't know. I think it is, because then every week we can go look and see, oh, the top person right now is Becky Lynch. She had a match tonight, and she won it. So she's going to be at least at 82 points. She appeared on TV, so that's 13 points automatically. So that's 83 points she's at. So good on her. So we started off Monday Night Raw, And welcome to the Raw Loaf, everybody. First off, I should say. We started off Monday Night Raw. Hold on 1 second. Let me check something. Yeah. Yeah, I see. I don't get this, like... So, Stud Ice just said, this point system is pretty interesting. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. And I have it on my... I have the stream on my phone here, but I don't see that comment. I see all the comments before the stream started. So I'm just going to try to reload it really quick. Sorry, everybody. But I appreciate that. I like hearing that you find my point system interesting. I just have been confused as to why some people get some things and some people don't. And this way, I feel like we can hold the WWE accountable for certain things. And hopefully they will listen to us. And I don't think they will, but we'll check it out. So yeah, so Seth Rollins, Triple H comes out. Seth Rollins comes out. Audience loves both of them. They Money in the Bank. I didn't realize it was coming up so quick. It's coming up in May 19th. It's gonna be in Hartford, Connecticut. And Triple H was saying, "Oh, we haven't heard from Brock or Heyman." He thinks they're still in Las Vegas hanging out or something. And then Triple H says, we're going to have 2 triple threat matches. And then one by one, they all come out. In the order they came out, it was Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, The Miz, Baron Corbin, and AJ Styles. And then they all had their own little things to say. Drew McIntyre, I felt, had the most organic response from the crowd. And so the first match was Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles, sorry. And I was just like, that's weird. You could have had this match on SmackDown Live, but when I started to berate the match in my head, the match actually turned out to be a pretty good match. And I was like, drat. It was a really good match. It's how AJ Styles got quite a few points on this pointing system. Sudai says, the War Raiders, the Viking Experience, the Viking Raiders, changed the names again. The thing is, they did not get rid of the Viking Experience if you did not catch it. And I will explain that in a little bit. And, but yeah, what a match. They went through 2 commercial breaks. This is a long triple threat match. And in the end, though, I mean, AJ Styles, okay, what ruined it for Rey Mysterio, he had both Samoa Joe and AJ Styles in the 619 position. I like to call it the doggy 6-1. I don't know what I did. I tried to come up with something. It did not work. And so he's like standing there like, what do I do? And then he hits Samoa Joe with the 619. And then he's standing out on the ropes like, what do I do next? And I was like, oh, come on. He was like lost. It was like, it's not berating him or anything, but Rey Mysterio is getting old. And he's like, oh, where am I? He kind of had that look like, where am I at? And then AJ Styles caught him, power bombed him, picked him up, power bombed him again onto Samoa Joe, picked him up, Styles clash on Samoa Joe. That was a great finish. That was a good way to end the match, AJ Styles. That's why he got the extra point there for entertainment value and just wrestling. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. The triple threat. Really, I mean, triple threats should be longer than one-on-ones, especially when the main event, they had already wrestled that night. So yeah, it was like, I could see it. It made sense tonight to me, anyway. And then they decided to tell us that John Cena had hosted Ellen, guest hosted Ellen, and showed some clips. I guess it was pretty funny. I saw some clips online. It was the crowd didn't get it. The crowd was there to see Ellen. I think they were all like super mad that John Cena. I don't know, from the clips. I didn't watch the whole show. If you did watch the whole show, let me know. Next up, we had the hashtag Divas Rewind here with Naomi facing Billie Kay. See, now in my point thing, in this thing, the Iconics, normally you get 10 points for wrestling a match, but the Iconics, only one of them wrestled, so I think they should only have half a points for that. So on my cards downstairs, I wrote +5. They only got half points because only half of them wrestled. It kind of makes sense to me. Who is your favorite women, men, and tag team wrestlers right now that are on the roster right now? Jeez. Ooh, we could talk about that one for quite a while. Remind me at the end. Dang it, I hate it when people ask me questions like that. It's always super hard. I'll come around. Does that include Raw and SmackDown, or is this just Raw you're talking about? Since we're talking about Raw. So yeah, Billie Kay came out. Her and Peyton were talking on the way down the ramp, or chirping, I guess you'd say, and they were saying something about Starbucks and Venti's and Ariana Grande, and they hit their punchline, and the punchline got no response. That should be a negative point, because they did that whole thing and the whole crowd was just like, and even I bet it was Michael Cole. He was like, I love it when the announcers like laugh when they're not supposed to laugh. It happened a couple times tonight. But yeah, this match started. Peyton tried to interfere about a minute into the match. Naomi picked up Billy and knocked out Peyton Royce and then rolled up Billie Kay in about a minute. Naomi got another 10 points. Pretty easy 10 points. I give her 10 points because she's not a part of a tag team. Oh, I'm sorry. No, the tag team only got 1 point because all right, from all rosters, I got you. The tag team only got 1 point because only one of them wrestled, so they get half points. And but Naomi will get a full 10 points because she won the match, and it was a singles match. Really fast and easy 10 points for Naomi. So they show the vignette for Bray Wyatt again, and I'm really happy that was not the last time we saw this Bray Wyatt stuff. I mean, everybody knows it's Bray Wyatt now, so I can say Bray Wyatt. But I was sad that they did slow down the frame rate. I think somebody there saw my tweet when I tweeted them about it, about actually doing that. And then next up, we had the next triple threat match for the number 1 contendership match at the end of Raw, which was Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre, and The Miz. AJ was backstage watching the match. Obviously, he's got a pretty vested interest in this match. Corbin, and so these three also had a really good match, and I believe it went for another 2 commercial breaks. That's why we had the Divas Rewind there in the middle. So Baron Corbin, near the end of the match, runs and he tries to tackle The Miz, and The Miz dodges. Baron Corbin missed pretty bad. The Miz barely had to move, but he hit the stairs, and I thought the match was done. The Miz was going to go in there, something was going to happen between him and Drew McIntyre, and one of them would win, but nope. Drew McIntyre hit a power bomb and then got a jackknife pin on him, but Miz kicked out. Match went on for a little longer until Drew McIntyre bounced off the ropes, hit The Miz with a Claymore kick. And right at the last second, that dirty sleeb? I don't know what a sleeb is, but that dirty sleeb. Baron Corbin got up, pushed McIntyre out of the way, and pinned The Miz. Made himself available for that for the main event for the number 1 contendership match. And as much as we all hate Baron Corbin, and that's what I think that's why, people want to see the bad guys get beat up and lose. That's why the bad guys like Baron Corbin, he got quite a few points tonight because, I mean, he was saying and doing things that was making the crowd mad at him, like really mad. And so people want to see him get beat, so he gets points for that. Baron Corbin was the last. Oh yeah, I mean, you never can count out a Weasley little snake like Baron Corbin. I mean, you just can't. I thought Drew McIntyre is going to win, and I'm waiting. One of these days, Drew McIntyre's going to be a champion, and nobody's going to be able to stop him. But yeah, I really didn't think Baron Corbin was going to win. But you can't count out a snake because the snake slithers, and then the snake sometimes will go into a little hole and then stay in that hole until he's not welcomed, and then come out and get something from somebody like Baron Corbin. So AJ was backstage, and this is another like example of when AJ Styles could have earned some more points for the pointing system here. Like he was talking about his accolade, or he's talking about Baron Corbin's accolades, and then he was talking about his accolades. I felt he could have went deeper, but he didn't. So he did not impress me. There was a pretty standard, nothing special backstage interview. So he doesn't get a point there. He could have, though. He could have. There's always opportunities to earn points on the Raw Loaf's point wrestling system. So next up, Sami Zayn makes one of the most confusing, this guy here. He comes out, he's like, oh, he's dancing, everybody's loving it. It's so weird. It's been going on for weeks now. Everybody's loving him. And if you haven't listened to Sami Zayn's actual music without just listen to it, it sounds so weird without people singing to it. But yeah, so Sami Zayn here, he's out here. He's an idiot. You idiot, man. How dare you? How dare you be so dumb? Because he comes out and he's like, I was so much happier when I wasn't here. And I was like, well, why are you here then? I mean, Apollo Crews, anybody could have just come out and said, well, why are you here then? I mean, then that would be it. Then he's done. But nobody did. He said he was very jubilant. And, but the thing was, he was on these Instagram posts of himself all around the world. And he had his tap out gear right out in front. So he wasn't just out there. He was making money. Shame on you, Sami Zayn. You were happy because you were making money. You weren't happy because of nature. He looked like he was drunk. He was bouncing around the ring a little bit, kind of weird. Doing like these little squats and bouncing off his knees. I was like, what is he doing? He's high on life, maybe. The crowd hates him, though. That's why I think I gave him a couple points, because the crowd just hates this man. They want to see him get beat up. That's why he gets points, because we want to see him get beat up. So we'll put him back there because we're about done with him. Like the crowd, I've never seen so many crotch chops from the crowd. I mean, we were in Iowa. I'm from South Dakota, and what we say about Iowans, what we say about Iowans, Iowa stands for idiots out wandering around. So everybody in the crowd that's crotch chopping was probably doing so because they think like DX is like it's the 90s, and they were booing him, and then they were waving goodbye to him when he said he might just go somewhere. But I thought the best thing, I mean, it makes me hate him, but I hate it when bad people say the right things at the right time. Because he was like, I took so many trips, and you all could benefit from taking a trip straight to hell. Well, he didn't say it like that. He should have. But, I mean, in Sami Zayn, he did it his way. He dropped the mic. That was a mic drop moment. I can't argue with that. I want to see him get beat up more. That's why I'm going to give him a couple points for that. Next up, we had Cedric Alexander here. Out of nowhere, Cedric Alexander comes up. They show his promo package again. He comes out. He's all excited. It's the same package they showed last week, I think. And then, I don't know if it was just me. If anybody can help me out here. But I was watching, and then it was on commercial. It might have been my stream. But the stream froze for like 15 seconds. But when it came back, Cesaro had him in a headlock. And it was like already like way into the match. I never saw an entry, beginning of the match or anything. But, excuse me, I ate too many Starburst jelly beans. Happy Easter. So yeah, Cedric Alexander hit a body slam that Michael Cole decided to call the Michinoku driver. I don't think it was a Michinoku driver because it was a body slam. And that's another thing with the point system. If you botch a move, you lose points. If you mess up wrestling, you don't get you lose points for that. So if that truly was a Michinoku driver, which I don't think it was, I think he was just body slamming Cesaro and he was just trying to go for a pin. Because Michinoku driver, Taka Michinoku back in the day, that was one of my favorite moves. I was like, how does anybody get up from that? And that's why he was lightweight champion for a while. But anyways, in the end, that Michinoku / body slam Michinoku driver / body slam did not matter one bit, because Cedric Alexander tried to fly off the top rope. Cesaro got up and just gave him the meanest looking uppercut. It was done. Cesaro seems to be doing well now that Sheamus is out of the picture. I don't know where Sheamus is. This superstar shakeup has me so confused. But Cesaro got 10 points for winning that match. He got 1 point for appearing on TV. He got 2 points for participating in the match. So Cesaro gets an easy 13 points. Well, it wasn't that easy. Cedric Alexander did fight back a little bit, but Cesaro is proven the Swiss Superman hasn't gone anywhere tonight. Backstage, we go to the Usos. They do their thing. Usos are back there talking with, I think it was Charlie. I don't remember. But then the Revival steps in, and the Revival starts talking. And they go over to the Revival, and then they turn back to the Usos. And the Usos are sleeping. It's like, dang, that's pretty good. See, in that instance, the Usos got a point, because that was a great reaction to the Revival. I don't even remember if the Revival were just looking at each other, because it was kind of weird. I mean, if they were looking at the Usos, and then the Usos went to sleep, and they did not react until the camera turned away. Super weird. Oh, he did. You're right, Stud Ice. Good catch. He did the thumb. He did do this. So, I don't know. Where's Sheamus? I mean, maybe he got superstar shaked up, and now he's in, NXT UK or something. How crazy would that be? So, yeah. And then we had the Viking Raiders come out. The Viking Raiders, and they were supposed to have a match. They could have had a match. They had an opportunity to earn points, but they chose to be weirdos and attack the Lucha House Party as the Lucha House Party's celebrating. Sometimes the ref will just start the match, even though this is happening, which I'm glad they didn't, because they didn't deserve it, because they ruined a fun time. So, because they did that, the War Raiders would only get 1 point for appearing on TV. But I would give them a point for just destroying them. Unfortunately, I want to take a point away from them, because instead of keeping their tag name as the Viking Experience, I can't even remember what their finisher was called. Their tag team, finishing maneuver, faux hammer or something. I can't remember, because now it is called the Viking Experience. I don't know what I think about that at all. Somebody must have some dirt on somebody somewhere that they need to have something, the Viking Experience, in this whole thing. Unfortunately for Eric and Ivar, whatever. Unfortunately for them, it's hurting them, I think. It's hurting their points. And I mean, all I have to do is turn on Twitter and see that nobody likes it. And if nobody likes something, why should they get points? They should get points taken away. But next up, we had backstage, we had the Major Brothers. I'm just calling them that because they were a tag team at one point. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. They were back there talking about oh man, how are we gonna deal with all this? And best WWE moment that I've had. Ooh. Give me 1 second. I want to answer this question now. The best WWE moment that I've had. Yours was when you were last at the Piper's. Last at the last Piper's Pit on WWE Raw, and I was in the same arena. Oh, nice, dude. That's pretty cool. Well, okay. Oh, duh. I have. Why was I don't know if you can count one whole night, but I was visiting a friend in Jacksonville, Florida. My friend Scott hated wrestling. He's like, "This is so dumb. Why would you even watch wrestling?" And I was like, "Dude, I got us 2 tickets. Let's go." So he was like, "Fine." I was like, "You don't have to pay me or anything. Just let's go." So we went, and the tickets were about halfway back. They weren't the greatest. They weren't the worst. But there was a local radio station raffling 2 tickets away. And I was like, "Hey, I bet these tickets are better than ours." So I go fill out the raffle thing. I tell them, "Hey, I'm not from around here, but I want to win these tickets." They said, "Go ahead." So I went and I filled out the information. An hour later, I was getting pretty drunk. And I told Scott, "Hey, Scott, hold hold my beer, Scott. I'm going to go pick up our tickets. And I'm looking at my ticket. I was joking. I was hardcore joking. And um I was looking at my ticket and they were reading off the numbers and I'm like, "Oh my god, there's my number. Boom, 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 boom. I win." Like normally I would have freaked out. I would have jumped out of my seat. I probably would have ran up there, but I was so in shock that I won these tickets. I just like slowly walked up there. I was like, this can't be real. Like in my head, I'm replaying the numbers. I'm looking at my ticket and I go up there. They're like, yeah, you won the tickets. They hand me the tickets. I look at the tickets. It's like row 1, seat 1. And if you go onto like YouTube and just search like, I think it was October 19th, 2009, Raw, Randy Orton entrance, you'll see me in a green shirt with this title. Actually, hold on. Oh no, where is it now? This title right here. Me and this title right here. We were on national TV right there, right on the edge. And I had like, my chops were like full thick. If you go, it's kind of old video. I mean, so it's not as high definition as you. Oh, but wait, we got the WWE Network now. I should go look it up on the WWE Network. But I'm sitting there like, Randy Orton's coming out. Randy, high five me. He was a bad guy at the time, so he wasn't high fiving anybody. I'm like, high five me, Randy. Look, I got the championship. And I was drunk because once I found out I was gonna be ringside, I just started putting them back. And I'm like, Randy, look, and the camera's following him. And then he stops and he turns around and he looks right back at me. And I'm like, ah. And they cut away from him right when he turned around and looked at me. And that night was so much fun because I don't know, ever since I've been ringside, like that seat right there on the corner where the entrance ramp meets the ring on the TV viewing side, ever since I've sat there, I haven't had nearly as much fun at any WWE event ever. And it makes me sad just thinking about it. Because, I mean, it's fun to go to wrestling shows, but once you've had that experience, once you've been like at the top, I guess, like my points that week were like at 150. But once you've been all the way up there, it's kind of been downhill ever since. I mean, I've had some good times, but nothing like that. Well, I mean, I was at an NXT show and I was second row. That was pretty fun. But I mean, it was a Raw. I mean, I don't know why they regretted probably giving me those tickets because I wasn't a local. But I tried to hold their sign up. They had a banner that the radio station. I was like, hey, I'll hold this on TV for you. And they're like, really? And I'm like, well, yeah, you gave me these awesome tickets. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah. Like before the show starts, you know, they're like, hold up your signs. And I'm like, I was holding up their sign. And like literally like 20 seconds before they went to live, this guy comes over and goes, dude, you can't hold that up. And I'm like, but they gave me these tickets. Nope, you got to put it away or give it to us. And I was like, oh man. But I will say, so you wanted, what did you want? You wanted, what was the best WWE moment you've ever had? The best WWE moment I ever had was that night. I was sitting there with my sign. I still have it. Maybe I'll pull it out for tomorrow's SmackDown Live. I'm not sure where it is, but I still have it. It said, Swagger carries Team Raw, because it was during bragging rights. And Kofi Kingston came out and they did some big altercation. Kofi Kingston is going back up the ramp and I'm like, yeah, Kofi. I'm just cheering but I'm holding up my Swagger carries Team Raw sign. And Kofi looks right at me and goes, really? Come on, man. Really? And I'm like, Kofi, I love you. And I was like, I didn't even put in my head at the time that he was looking at my sign. And then later on that night, Jack Swagger came by my sign. He wasn't a good guy at the time, but for some reason, I was like in love with Jack Swagger. He came by. He couldn't be a good guy and high-five me or anything, but he just came by and went right to my sign. Didn't even look at it, just went. I was like, oh my God, I'm the coolest guy alive. Oh my God. And my friend was like freaking out because he knew how much I loved Jack Swagger. And yeah, my friend was like, this is actually pretty fun. I had a lot of fun, which everybody I've taken to a wrestling show ends up having a good time. So that was very long-winded. I felt like that was like 10 minutes. But I got all excited, sorry, about my favorite wrestling time, my favorite WWE moment, and I hope that all that time I spent on it was worth it. Okay, where was I at? Oh yeah, so the Major Bros. So Zack Ryder ended up saying a better name for the Viking Raiders, or the Viking Experience, or whatever you would call them. He said, what did he say? He said the horny woolly mammoths. And the fact that he said horny on TV, which wasn't even placed well. Like, how are they horny? Because they have the helmets, but that doesn't matter. But okay, but I would much rather hear them be called the horny woolly mammoths than the Viking Raiders. Like, can't call them the Raiders, can't call them the Vikings. We got to call them the Viking Raiders now, which I guess we'll see. I bet in 2 weeks that changes again. Maybe. I mean, it's not as bad, but people got so upset they changed the name once, so might as well get to change the name again. Next up, we have Becky Lynch taking on Alicia Keys. But before this match starts, Becky Lynch came out and she was talking about Lacey Evans doing sexual favors in very innuendo-esque ways. And I was like, how many parents right now are having to explain to their children what Becky is talking about? Then Lacey comes out and she says that men want to be center of attention, and I'm pretty sure nobody has like really ever said that before, at least when comparing them to a woman. Oh, did you find the clip? Post that in the chat here. I want to watch it later. I guess I could go look it up on my own. Oh, and then my brother was watching that night, and Melina came out, and Melina, like, I oh my god, and that's another thing. Oh my god, all of the women, all the divas, they were divas at the time. All of the divas would come by, and they were like, "Oh my god, I love your chops." I was like, "Oh my god, I'm single." That didn't work, but yeah, apparently they love these things. So if you go to a WWE event and you can grow facial hair, grow these out, grow them out big. They like them big and black. Sexual innuendos. And but Becky Lynch said one thing that I really liked. She said Lacey Evans is just a new version of an old approach. That was good. That earned Becky Lynch a point because that was clever. Hold on, did you? I was right though, right? Randy Orton like stopped and he turned around and he looked right where I would have been if I was on TV, because I was just screaming at him. I was like, Randy, and yeah. So during this Becky Lynch / Alicia Keys match, Alicia Fox, who just like gets a match out of nowhere after being gone for months with the champion. It's kind of weird, and it's the champion's first match since WrestleMania. The referees, I should do a counting point system for referees, because these referees in the WWE legitimately have no idea how and when to do a count out. Like, once they both go out of the ring, the refs should start counting a count out. But instead, the refs are just say, hey, I don't know, maybe I need to buy that WWE rule book. But the refs are like, hey, come back in. And yeah, I don't know. I complain about it a lot. I'm sorry, but I just feel like they don't have to do that. So Lacey Evans. Okay, so Becky Lynch wins with the disarmor. So in this situation, Becky Lynch, she's like at like 84 points now or something like that. And oh yeah. Oh my god. That Ted DiBiase moment, like, one of my friends was like, my friend that was there, he was like, this guy looks legitimately mad. And I was like, yeah, dude, because he's mad, because he hates Randy Orton right now. He's like, shut up. But anyways, so Becky Lynch wins with the disarmor. Lazy Evans come out. I call her Lazy Evans, sorry, because she, in 4 months, she did 4 minutes of walking. Pretty lazy. She came out and she hit Becky Lynch with 2 punches, 2 women's rights. Good job. Then Baron Corbin's backstage. Baron Corbin, I hate him so much because he's like, where did you where did you learn how to interview? You didn't even ask me a question. Like, and the thing is, Charlie's just like looking at him like she has no expression at all. Like, she should at least have been like, what are you talking about? I did ask you a question. Or, I didn't ask you a question, but I made a statement for you to respond to. But she was just like, and I was like, okay. So, so Baron, I think, and what did he say? He said something. Oh yeah, and he even made a Kim Kardashian reference, becoming a lawyer. So that's another. I mean, you hate Baron Corbin, and you hate Baron Corbin because of moments like this, and that's why you want to see him get beat up. So next up we have Ricochet, whose entrance, somebody's Triple H's kids or Shane McMahon's or Stephanie McMahon's kids, or I guess her and Triple H's are the same kids, but they come out, or Ricochet comes out, and now he's got like a gun, a bullet shot, and it ricochets. Hey, what's up, Kevin? You missed my 10-minute speech about my favorite WWE moments, but luckily, as soon as this is done, you can go replay it. But yeah, so Ricochet, I don't know, his name's Ricochet, so they play a bullet hitting off of a piece of metal, and I guess that's cool. And then there was like some boom, some explosion sound effects in this song, and I don't know who's making these decisions lately, but like sound effects are cool if you're like watching a video that's explaining things to you, or if you're watching a video and there's a sound effect, boom, it like in my other videos I was doing in August when I dropped the mic, I would play an explosion sound effect when it hit the floor. So that's cool because that's where sound effects belong. But in songs, I don't know. Do you think that the Centric's music, because Aleister Black's now has like that sound effect of like wheel cranking as he comes up, and look at the YouTube link and look at about 105. Oh, yeah. So nice, put it there. My favorite moment, my favorite WWE moments. So it's him against Robert Roode, and Robert Roode, when I was growing up, I thought Rick Rude was one of the goofiest guys alive. I mean, keep in mind I was like 10 or something. I was like, what is wrong with this guy? And so Robert Roode now sports a mustache, a pretty badass mustache. Oh, am I not supposed to say that word? He sports pretty awesome mustache. I would love to monetize my channel someday, and I can't do it if I'm saying bad words. Oh my God, Juan. Wait, hold on. Let me get caught up here. Vince really made Bray a children's show, and Bobby Roode is now Robert Roode. Yes, I'll talk about that children's show in a minute. But Juan right here, this guy, I took him to his first wrestling match at the Orleans Arena here in Las Vegas. If you all remember Global Force Wrestling, and Juan has never been to a wrestling match. He was like, why am I going to this? And he got out there, and within the first match, he may have been a little drunk, but he was yelling at all the bad guys. The Lollipop Guild. That's the thing I remember him from. Oh, and my favorite thing, that night, I was tweeting out like, hey, I'm at Global Force Wrestling here in Las Vegas, TV tapings. Some like websites started direct messaging me on Twitter. Hey, give us updates, please. Hey, and I was like, okay, I'll send you updates. And then like every 10 minutes, I would just send them a picture of Juan being drunk, and like they never responded to me. But for like 2 hours, he would just be like drunk and like sitting in his chair, or he'd be yelling at the Lollipop Guild. Yeah, he lost his voice. That's what rookies do when they go to wrestling shows. But that night was a lot of fun, too. That was a really fun non-WWE night. Okay, so let me talk about Robert Roode, because Corey Graves sometimes is annoying as a commentator, but no, not dashing Robert Roode unless they want. They might do it because they don't like Cody probably right now. But anyway, so when oh my God, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. Corey Graves. Yeah, when Corey Graves came, he was like, there's going to be a spike in pregnancies in Des Moines, Iowa. And like, The whole commentating team just broke up laughing. I started laughing. That was hilarious. I'm sorry. Like, if I gave points to commentators, Corey Graves probably would have gotten like 4 right there. So during this match, one of the most amazing things I've ever seen happened. Ricochet took Bobby Roode, slammed his head up against the turnbuckle, slammed it so hard that Bobby Roode's head just got stuck there. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And, yeah, like, I was just so in shock. But at the end of the match, Ricochet tried to do his 630. Robert Roode rolled out of the way. Then, shoved Ricochet right into the corner. Ricochet, he pulled him back up. Robert Roode hit his glorious DDT for the win, and I'm so happy for this guy, even though I don't like him now because he's a bad guy. I feel like Robert Roode could be one of the best bad guys there are. One of those people you just want to see get beat up. And I think I gave him 2 points because of his mustache. Yeah, Robert Roode. I'm sorry, Kevin. I'm sorry. Thanks for correcting me, though. So next up, here we go. This is why I'm wearing all this stuff. And why it seems like Kevin doesn't like the Firefly Funhouse. But I think 2 things are going to happen. Either this new Bray Wyatt and his Firefly Funhouse is going to be like the best thing, or it's going to be the worst thing. I really liked the presentation. I really liked how it was kind of creepy in a way. It was like Mr. Rogers, if Mr. Rogers had a tick wrong in his head. I wish they would. The what would have made this better, though, is if they actually had an audience of children. If they had kids there and they were watching this live and cutting to the kids, and then when he pulls out the chainsaw, the kids would run away. Like, I wish, that would have been so much better. Now I want to give it points. I want to take away points because it could have been so much better. But this was my dedication to my favorite moment of the night. Bray Wyatt with the hair and the evilness. But the evilness is gone, so we're removing the evilness. He claims, but we'll see. I really wish his shirt would have been like just tucked in and he didn't wear a belt. That would have been funny. So, and at the thing at the very end that sold it to me. Oh my gosh. Hey guys. Y'all don't know Corbin Rogers. This is the first time he's been back in here since I started doing this live, but Corbin Rogers is an original Raw Loafer. So say hi to him. He was watching Raw tonight, and I told him, get ready for that wonderful Divas throwback. And he thanked me for warning him, and I'm glad he did. It's Blue's Clues. Kevin. It's go watch Mr. Rogers, because this was a great parody of Mr. Rogers. But at the very end of it, when he looked at the camera and he said, all you have to do is let me in. Oh my gosh. The thing is, I love horror. Horror is my favorite genre. And this could go so many good places. Bray Wyatt could take this thing and they could do so many good things with it. But with Bray Wyatt in the past, they always choose the cheapest horror tricks. And if they're going to do it again, it's like I said, this new thing, the Firefly Funhouse, could be up here, could be the best, or it could be down here at the worst. Yeah. Last up, we finally get to a main event, and the time was running short, so we knew this match wasn't going to be long. AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. Again, I'm going to complain about the refs not counting out. If there's one thing we all should do, we should all just tweet WWE and say, hey, make your refs count out. Hey, make your refs count out. Again, WWE, I will take $69,000 and I will be a ref. I'll do anything you want for $69,000, but you're also paying for my travel and my other stuff. You're going to hire me. You're not going to independent contractor me. But so AJ, so like here, one of the points that AJ got here for this match was because of he worked through an injury. That's what this one point was. Like the whole match, he was fighting hurt. That's pretty admirable. That's why he gets a point. So in the end though, AJ Styles jumped up on that rope and he was going for that phenomenal forearm, and I was like, don't do it, AJ. You're gonna jump up on that rope and your legs are gonna give. But you know what gave? Baron Corbin's chin. Because AJ Styles' elbow came across, knocked him out. And that was it for the Lone Wolf. I don't know why I just remembered that they called him that all the time. But, and here's the question. So, yeah, you got your question. Oh, so I'm going to do another quick demonstration for the ranking system. But the question the WWE SmackDown wants us to turn in for tomorrow is, will Roman Reigns be fired? Do you think Roman Reigns will be fired tomorrow? So I'm not going to do this on cards anymore because it was a lot of work downstairs. My coffee table is covered in index cards, but because, see, now Chad Gable has moved over to SmackDown. I made this card, so Team Glorious right there. They're no more. So I don't have to keep track now of Team Glorious. So really quick, I did bring my Becky Lynch card up. This is what happens when you lived in the time before computers. You want to write stuff down. And hashtag make WWE great again. I totally agree. That's what I'm doing this point system for. So Becky Lynch right now, like I said before, I didn't know how to start it off fairly. But so what I did, everybody has 0 points except all the champions. Because really the champions should be at the top. Becky Lynch has 70 points because each women's championship is worth 35 points. The reason each women's championship is worth 35 points, and I know I'm going to catch flack for this, but if you look at my index cards, you look at my index cards for men, there's about this many. The index cards for women is about this many. So it goes from this many index cards to about this many index cards. And you can't tell me that if there's this many people going for your title, that it's worth just as much if there's about 15 or 20 people. You got 60 to 70 people versus 20. No. If you can make a valid argument to me that I'm wrong about that, go right on ahead. But Becky Lynch has 70 points. So we take Becky. So she made her TV appearance. That's 1. She had a match. That's 2 extra points. She said that thing about Lacey Evans. It's now I can't remember. It's a new package with an old trick. I can't remember. Well, she gets a point for whatever she said. And then she won the match with the disarmer, so she gets 10 points. And then, and champs, if they make an appearance, they get an extra 5 points. Because it's not fair because the champs, don't wrestle a lot. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But, so, we got 4 points plus 10 is 14 plus 5 equals 21. So, as of right now, this is even before SmackDown Live. Because she still has the SmackDown Live championship. Which, I think Lacey Evans thinks she's going to win both titles if she beats Becky. I don't think so. So, she was at 70, so Becky Lynch right now is standing at a strong 91 points. So right now, just based on the numbers, I'm pretty sure nobody else came close. But right now, Becky Lynch on the Raw Loaf's ranking system for the WWE, Becky Lynch is the top wrestler in the company. So that's what that is. I'll put that down. So there you have it. And you wanted to know my favorite wrestlers. Okay. I think Drew McIntyre, as I do my power pose, after watching Drew McIntyre over these last 8 years, I think he's one of the most dangerous guys. I don't like him because he's a bad guy, but it shocks me he's not champion. I feel like he could be champion, but I think I like him because I hate him so much. As far as the good guys on the current roster, gosh darn it. This is always the worst. The question, man, even if you don't restrict it to just WWE. Randy Orton, too. I don't know if Randy Orton's a good guy or a bad guy right now. He's just kind of, for the last few weeks, he's just kind of come out and was like, I'm a badass. And I'm a bad man. Dang, who's my favorite good guy, though? Jeez. It's too hard. There's a lot of good talent right now. There's a lot of good wrestlers. Having to pick one is tough. Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose, oh man, when he came back, I was like, geez, he got huge. He was actually like doing wrestling moves. Like real, like that was my favorite at that time. At that moment, Dean Ambrose for a while was my favorite because he came back. He looked giant. He was doing a bunch of new moves, and it's like, isn't that what all wrestlers should do when they get injured and they're coming back? Maybe they should learn some new moves or something. And he did, and I had a lot of respect for that. But yeah, Dean Ambrose, I guess he's done. They've been talking about it for about 3 months now. If honestly, it feels like they've been trying to guilt trip him into staying. The only time that I think Dean Ambrose wanted to stay was during his last Raw appearance a couple weeks ago when Bobby Lashley said that he was going to take care of Renee Young for Dean Ambrose because they're married. And really, I think Bobby Lashley just has a crush on Dean Ambrose, and he was trying to get him to stay, but Dean Ambrose isn't gay for Bobby Lashley. So Bobby Lashley was like, I'm going to just take care of your wife for you, thinking, oh, that'll make him stay. But it didn't work, or it hasn't worked, or I don't know, because they had their thing last night. So, yeah, dang it, who's my favorite good guy right now? Because I like the wrestling aspect of wrestling. So I'd have to like the champion Seth Rollins. Who else do I have up here? Kevin Owens. I love Kevin Owens. I love him too. I don't know. Don't ask me hard questions. Come on. If you're gonna ask me hard questions, tweet me on Twitter before I start the live show. Speaking of tweeting me on Twitter, thanks for tuning in to the Raw Loaf tonight. If you want, you can follow me right here at the Raw Loaf on Twitter or over here on Facebook or whichever way I'm supposed to go. Like it on Facebook. The Facebook page seems to get like no responses for anything, and it sucks on Facebook because I can't like comment on things as my Facebook page. I have to do it as my personal pages, which I don't know. I can't figure. Facebook has this thing where you can view your posts or your feed chronologically, but when you turn it on, it doesn't work at all. But that's why I love Twitter now, because if you on your app anyway, I don't know how you do it on a web browser, but at the top of the home screen, there's a little starry button. You press that, and you can choose see latest tweets instead, or go home. Which about every week it likes to revert back to home because they want to show you things they want you to see so that you interact more, I guess. But I love seeing everything chronologically, so it's so much more fun that way because you get to see you follow people for a reason, but then these social media websites think, oh, you don't need to see everybody, you just want to see what we want to show you. Oh, I know. Thanks for following me already. I don't know. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Who knows? A lot of people are saying Dean Ambrose is going to go to another company, which is highly likely. I don't know why he wouldn't take some time off again. That's what these wrestlers, I think, need more than anything, is to take some time off. Anyways, everybody, thanks for watching. Wow, this one went almost... It's at 52 minutes right now. Boy, howdy, that's a long time. But, I gotta rate this Night's Raw. This Night's Raw actually went by pretty fast. It had some slow moments in it. I'd give it a good... This is a pretty solid Raw, I thought. Maybe it wasn't to some people, but time didn't go by as slow as it has in the past. They messed up the Viking experience pretty bad, so... Or the Viking Raiders, or whatever you want to call them. So, let's give them a strong 52 out of 69. Thanks for tuning into the Raw Loaf. I'll be live right after SmackDown Live tomorrow. And then I'm planning on Wednesday, I'll have my first video up for the Power Rankings. Or not the Power Rankings, that's what the WWE calls them. The Raw Loaf's WWE ranking system. Or I gotta come up with something more clever than that. Is this the longest Raw Loaf? It sure is. I can't think of any video that's been longer. At least live. Some of my edited ones from back in the day got like up to 20 minutes. But Yeah. Well, you had to go and ask me what my favorite WWE moment was, and that turned into like a 15-minute spiel. But I loved it. That was like, that makes me want to go ringside. There's free wrestling here in Vegas this weekend. I might have to go and try to get ringside again. There's actually, oh yeah, there's if you're in Vegas this weekend, there's free wrestling at the Gold Coast. The Cauliflower Alley Club is there. They're having their reunion. And then if you go to the Level Up Expo, there's more free wrestling there. Darren Corbin. Oh, I hate that guy. On Twitter, at Darren Corbin. Apparently he's brothers with Baron Corbin or something. Go find that guy. Tweet to him. Tell him he's a jackwagon. All right, now here's the part of the video that I don't like where I have to... Oh, let's do this really quick. I don't have a prize, but I'm still planning on doing this like on a Sunday. So this is practice for everybody. Who knows? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I'll have a prize for you. So I got this WWF. Look how old this is. I was visiting my mom a couple of weeks ago, and I picked this back up. WWF wrestling trivia. So, no, that AEW sold out in like 5 minutes, and I was out of the loop at the time, and I did not know that the ticket sale was going on. So, I might go down to the MGM Grand and I don't know, try to finagle my way in. But I'll have a prize for you. So on Twitter, tweet me on Twitter. Oh, can you see the answers? Just in case you could see the answers, I'm gonna pull out a different quiz card. Rookie, I'm a rookie. All right, everybody, for a prize that you probably will not enjoy that much, I will pick number 4. So first person to tweet me on Twitter the correct answer will win the prize. The wrestler who deserted his own 1988 Survivor Series team was... Who was it? Tweet me on Twitter. 1988 Survivor Series team. Who deserted it? All right. I'm going over here to stop the stream. Y'all have a groovy night. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.